Hello everybody, how are you guys doing? I was busy watching Glenda and I was like, I'm supposed to be on, and she finished up just perfectly on time, of course, but that made me more nervous than not. So I'm Lori LaRose, welcome and hello. These are always fun events and I have been enjoying watching quite a bit of the different things. I love that everybody shared a whole bunch of hacks. I'll try and share a couple hacks with you as well. I've got to wait just a couple seconds because literally she just wrapped up. And although the recording would be fine, I would like you guys to get started right from the beginning when I unveil what it is I'm making. I am just going to refresh my own screen. And there I am probably. Yes, hoorah. Right, and then the volume's off, so that's perfect. Okay, hey Vicki, how you doing, hon? And people are rapidly coming over. So, are you ready to see what I'm going to make today? I'm working with, you know what? I usually show the card and then there it is. So no, I'll just pop you down. Okay, here we go. All right. Nothing reveals too much there. That's good. Hi, Anne. How are you? All right. So I do Facebook Lives quite frequently, and I laugh because I still am cursing out that Facebook changed that I have this still hanging out here, and I'd like it to be wider as opposed to so skinny. And it used to be better. You didn't used to have to see that stuff, but the narrower we get. Okay, get some light on. And so I'm working with the Boardwalk Fun. It's kind of an interesting, hi Carissa. It's kind of an interesting set because my favorite part of it is the Ferris wheel. Holy man, my words are not here. Okay, so welcome everybody. They're coming on fast and furious. I'm watching there. And I have to tell you, I don't know how to prep for something like this. I really love creating in real time. It keeps it really exciting, even for me. And then, of course, when the card turns out, kind of fun. Last night, I started with the greenery. I saw Shauna was going to work with the greenery set, and I thought I'm going to work with greenery but with anything but green because that's just too obvious, the greenery lane. Had no idea what I was going to start with and finished off with this card last night. So I do kind of like doing that, but I don't know what to do. We are not making this card, by the way. I'm just showing you that. I could have just pointed to that, I guess. Sorry. Okay, so the stamp set doesn't actually have a Ferris wheel, which is interesting. So as I got going with this set, I was like, aye. But, and I think the potential of working with just making beach scenes is nice with the palm trees if you've never had the palm trees before. Welcome to all the new team members. This is a cool bonus of being part of one of the sisters teams. And getting signed up with us. We do this, and now that you're in the club, the group, this Facebook group, you're able to scroll all the way back and find a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so I'll put this aside and I'll get motoring because we have half hour and I'm like, whoa. All right, I saw a card online and I was really liking it. And so I thought, how am I going to make it? And I looked for the little template, couldn't find one. So I took a piece of computer paper and we are going to make like a little accordion card that has some little flaps on it. And so I just worked with it and then refolded it multiple times and went for that. It does, mine creates a little scene. You could do yours lots of different ways. I created this little card and this is what I'm going to recreate for you today and have some fun with it, hopefully. So these pieces come from the paper itself. Paper's also kind of fun, and I ended up using the paper here. You can create skies and grass using your blending brushes, of course, but in this case, I do have the paper. And I don't have another one of these, so you're gonna see a little surprise element come in on that one and go from there. So I did have an extra balloons though, so that's fun. You might need to pull, if you're loving balloons and stuff, another set from a long time ago. I think that this set, when you guys are recreating your cards with this, and I'll give you the measurements here as I'm talking. Where did I put those? I was being really organized, you guys. It's not like me. I take a little sip of tea, and that's all I have, actually, a little sip left. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Okay, can you guys see that sort of? Hopefully. You can take a screenshot and then zoom in. What was I going to say to you, though, then? I lost my train of thought as I was doing it. Oh, things, ideas, as you're recreating yours. I'm thinking like maybe mountain scenes, possibly some of the beautiful DSPs we've had that create a scene, and you could cut the pieces so that they flow across all 3 angles kind of thing. There is 4 different spots for it. So, geez, this is for, yeah, you'd be able to probably just, because these are 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, you'd be a little bit scant. I'll say that just because it's essentially. So this card surprises me. You do start with a base of 5.5 by 8.5. Because it feels really long, I kind of, you know how sometimes we do use 5.5 by 11 pieces of paper? And in this case, I'm thinking no. So anyways, okay. So I think the mountain scenes would be kind of pretty. Anything with trees, and then animals created in here, maybe a Christmas scene. So I'll be really curious to see what you guys do. Be sure to post your ideas. There's separate posts. You don't post it within the comments here, but separate. Okay, so hopefully you got that, and then go from there. Now, I did do lots of prep, so I'm not sure. You could maybe do this part with me because I'm going to do it right now, but you might need to catch up, pause, and go back and forth with this one because I am going crazy. All right, so pretty cinchy at the very beginning. I didn't write this down anywhere, but we are going to score it because it's going to fold and go into a regular card. We're going to score it at 4 1/4, because we are, see, I really do think it's such a big card that I do really believe that it's longer than it's supposed to be. Anyways, you are working with a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of paper. So at 4 1/4, you're going to do your first score. And I'm like the other girls. Generally speaking, I do prefer my score tool, but I have to say I'm doing another card at the end of the month, and I'm recording it today as well, and I need to cut on it. So I had this one out. All right, so then I'm going to come along and I'm going to, oh, I didn't write this down, so that's really handy, but I'm going to score. That was 4 1/4, so at 5 1/4, I'm going to score again. No, I'm not. Stop. 4 1/4 plus an 1/8. Oh, I really should have written this down. Okay, now you are seeing the Lori of her lives, where she's like, oh, hey, that'd be a great idea. What am I going to do next? Okay, so put this across here, and I'm going to go at 5. Five 1/4 and an 1/8. I know that. I need to do that. 5 1/4 and an 1/8. Just because I know I'm doing 1 inch more. Okay. And then I'll just keep going along here. Pull up my arm. And then go 6 3/8 and another 1/8. So 6 and oi, you guys. All right. So you'll see that I did make the little boo-boo, and that's okay because it doesn't matter. I get mostly covered up. But that'll help. So yeah, I can bring that in, because now I get messed up with my 6s. This is why the scoring tool is really, really nice, you guys. All right, so now if I bring this in, I want to have it at 1 1/8, basically. So I'm going to bring this little score line at 1 1/8, and I'm going to score. So do you see what I'm doing? I'm taking my score line and I'm putting it to 1 1/8 because I want those two to be equal. Okay, so 1 1/8. And now I just want 1 inch, and hopefully I have 2 inches left. Let's double check. I do. So now at 1 inch, and I'm doing that from the score line, but it's also sort of over here as well. So I'm doing 1 inch, and then those are the scores. So except that you get messed up on this thing with that, basically pretty simple 3 scores. And I will write that into the description of where those guys go. What did I say? 5 3/8. 6 4/8 probably, and then back. Okay, so we're going to score this, or burnish it. So fold and such. Now, hello everybody. Can't see. Oh, can't wait to see. Thanks, Mary. I was thinking you were saying you can't see what I'm going to do. Ah! Yeah, I think the layering options are really, really fun. So I'm really interested to see what everybody else does, because not everybody will have this. So although, and I thought about not recreating this card for you so that you could see. So these guys are supposed to line up, but honestly, if they don't, so long as it fits in the envelope. And then there's just that little extra inch. And then I don't know if you saw, but obviously there was a little there. So it doesn't matter because the people will pull it out of the envelope and they're never going to have it ever like that again. They're not going to be like, oh, look, she didn't have that exactly right. So if yours is exactly right, let's see if my other one is. I think it is. If it all lines up perfect, lovely. If it doesn't, it's really not going to matter. All right. Now, did I not? You guys, I'm not going to be able to finish this. So I prepped and prepped. And each time I was like, oh, you didn't do that yet, Lori. Oh, you didn't do that. And I was busy writing down the measurements for you of all the layers. Oh, you're going to get to see me really prep if I have time. Otherwise, the decorating will come later. Oy, oy, oy. All right. So I like to fold back and forth, just so everything's burnished nice. Stalling? Yes, I am. No, I'm just teasing. Okay, so it looks pretty much like my little template. Yay. Can keep that template or throw it away. Now, from the DSP, I got a piece, and I'm going to put my beautiful, I do love, the roller coaster. And so I'm going to stamp on here. So that's the foundation of this. Now you're just going to fill the pieces. So you'll need to decide design-wise what paper you're going to use. If you are going to use one sheet all the way through, you'll have to really, because 6 inches, and it really is, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 4, so that's 8 inches. So you wouldn't be able to use 6 by 6s, but like from this piece of paper, I could certainly, and I did consider using, oh, not this one. Sorry, I was showing you this piece, but that's not the one I mean. Somewhere in here there is another one. But of course I won't be able to find it. Basically, this paper that's in there, I would be able to do a whole little panel of that all the way across if I wanted to. But anyways. So yeah, sadly the 6 by 16's not quite so much, but you could do these 3 pieces, and then these 2 could be the complementary side from a second sheet of that or something, right? So I'm going to, important, when you are embossing, I actually ended up using all 3 of these on this card. So our embossing powders come in groups of 3s. One of the groups is the clear gloss, the white bright, and it's called primary ebony, but it's black. And they're $29. They're available. I double checked that and everything. Not that it mattered per se, but it's nice when they actually are there. I would recommend both of them because then the other one is the silver gold and it's not pewter, copper. And favorite. Hey, hint for you. If you have a new baby in your life, use a Versamark and do a copper emboss of their little footprint or their handprint, and it's like the little booties when you used to copper your boots back in the day. Does anybody have parents that used to do that? I have little bronze booties. But anyways, and that's reminiscent. Plus, it will never fade, so you'll always have that. So I love that because if you just do ink, then it runs out. Okay, so I'm going to, so that was a little embossing buddy to keep the static off, and I did the whole sheet, and I'm working with, because it's a photopolymer, I'm working with a little piece of foam underneath here, but I also kind of want to have a piece of paper because I know I'm going to overlap. This is very much based for the horizontal cards, and I'm obviously going to use the other side. I'm going to work with the highest point, and just so that I can get this accurately, and that way. So now I'm going to Versamark, and when it's a big stamp, lots of times I do come down a little tiny bit closer here. I do it upside down and just ink up lots, and you can check. Now you can't see anything because it's Versamark, but. And I'm going to stamp that. So I want it to be straight. So sometimes it's nice if you have everything straight and hopeful. And I'm going to overlap so that's off as well. I'm going to come down hopefully about the inch-ish. I don't know. Hopefully it's about the same as the other one because I like the way the other one turned out. And this is where you'll line up like your mountains or whatever too. And then just leave that for half a second. And then on the other set, I pulled from, and you do have time because Versamark's great. You can use the clear embossing with lots of our regular ink pads, but then you have to be right ready to do it. And I'm not doing that today as a hint, but from, back here, Weekend Adventures. Adventure starts here. This is a perfect set for this one. They go hand in hand in my thing. Things to do, places to see, woohoo! So I have the adventure start here, and I'm going to, hopefully it's, how many people have had color on their ink pad or their stamps, and then all of a sudden I always used to say when we did demos, so I've been a demonstrator for 23 years, and we used to do home parties, and I did catalog tours is how I introduced people to Stampin' Up! Beforehand. Now, I'm going to be kind of blind at this because I can't see where I totally went, but I know it doesn't 100% fit, so I'm going to go low, and I feel like, what's that fellow, the character, that low in Cars, the low and Flo loved the low rider. Anyways, but I used to always say yours will be so much beautifuler when you get your Versamark pad, because of course once you start using your Versamark pad, it does get a little dirty. All right, so there's my adventure. Hopefully everything's squished on there, and I'm going to use the black and a piece of paper somewhere I had. Okay, I'm going to use my clear piece of paper upside down. And so I don't know if people are not talking to me or if I'm just, if I'm not answering you, I'm sorry, is what I'm trying to say. Oh, copper booties, yes you do. Okay, I said black and I brought it out and everything. Good gracious. Okay, here we go. So I dump everything, whatever, right? And then you just put it back in the jar anyways, right? So, and then the other way. And then one more time. And did I get that E okay or not? Might not have. Okay. And then, so my fingers are maybe a little bit moisturized so they look prettier on the thing. You're going to take a brush if you need to, and just take and brush away a little tiny bit of any flecks that you don't want, right? And I'm going to dump this back into the cup. And I kind of have to do it off screen because the camera's so low, so I don't know if you can see me or not, but I'm concentrating because, of course, at this point, you do not want to dump it all over your counter. But you do want to put it away because then you're going to bring in the heat gun. And I am going to do this heat gunning. I did not prepare this one ahead of time because I thought, I don't know. Okay. Oh, yeah, you could see me doing that. So you just dump it back in. Ta-da, it's all good. One hint. Before you start working with your powder, close that because that's easy, make sure. Okay, so then I just clear off just a couple little guys. I don't get too panicked, but there it is. Okay. And then I gotta make a little noise. So I pre-did, I'm gonna base it on a piece of black. So I'm working now with a lot of black on here. I actually found bubble bath was a little bit hard. Combinations to come up with pretty things to go together. And I love this to be really hot, and that way then the start of the embossing works the best, if that makes sense. Find a place that you can hold. And then one hack I would say, and this is why I got scattered as well, is because it started to fly before it glued down. A lot of people emboss like they're blow drying their hair, and it's much better just to hold it nice and steady until it actually starts, and then just to flow it along, and you get a smoother images. Once it's done, you don't want to overheat it, and I'll show you what I did with that. It's a little bit different on paper versus on cardstock, but I did do this cute one, and can you see that I overheated the silver and it flattened back out again? Now, I went ahead and finished the card off. I did a little bit of, and I didn't do Versamark, but we used to in the old days use Versamark as backgrounds, but I did do the pink on pink. And this is where actually with the clear embossing, I stamped in the navy blue, and then I just quickly dumped on my clear and heated it really, really fast. And that was yet another card that you can make quite simply, kind of one layer and go from there. But yes, if you overheat it, you flatten your guy out. So I will glue this. Oh, so I also used white, and I have to say, as much as I was really thinking I was on top of everything with the preparations and trying to figure out my timing, I'm laughing because I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna have to go cut some black paper if I'm gonna do this game. But sorry, I can't think and glue at the same time. On my lives, I don't actually glue because it takes a while for it to set. One little tiny thing, I could not find my stamps right now, but there, can you see that? Yes, I think you can. I like that. So that's clear embossing, just tone on tone. I did Versamark, and then when you clear emboss over top of it, it adds just that little tiny bit of something, something. And then I did white for the actual words on those guys. And what time is it? 1:22, so doing pretty good. Okay. So then this guy is going to go on here. Yeah, I'm glad I prepped as much as I did because I have to say, lots of little moving pieces on this. So, and the gluing takes time. So when I got off the live last night, that's when I glued all that down. So I lay it down and often ask you to kind of pretend a little tiny bit that it's looking as good as it should be. But if you enjoy creative wandering around, then that's very much my style, figuring it out as it goes. Look how pretty. I have to say, I probably fell in love. That's probably how we fall in love, most of us, with stamping, is embossing. If you haven't embossed with a friend lately, you should emboss with a friend and make her fall in love with this again. Okay, so I absolutely have to confess, I totally blanked. As much as I was looking at that card 506 times, I don't have the layers for this, and I'm a little worried with the timing. So I'm just going to show you some other stuff of what I'm going to do. Some little hacks and hints, and then hopefully I do have time to grab the papers for that, but might not. So this is one of the wheels. They pop out like so, and then these guys come out 6 at a time, and there's 12 around. And because the color I just couldn't find, and so this is a little hack for you. If sometimes you just can't find the right color to go with the balloons, basically, because they're not balmy blue, because this is Pool Party. And this is Pool Party, not balmy blue. So I don't know why this goes, and it does, but I didn't like balmy blue little guys. So I just added a little tiny bit of actually azure over top of the Pool Party, and that's how I got that little tone for that. So sometimes that might be what you need to do. This actually, wouldn't that be a cute card just to be like, woohoo, doo-doo. Anyways, okay, this little guy, if you did get the set and you're like, what is that? That little guy pops out the cars, basically. So we will put the cars on here. So our videos need to be in today, and like it's constant, the emails coming through of people sending off the things. It's actually a 30th stampiversary for the first male Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, obviously back 30 years ago. So that just lines up nice like that. How fun is that, hey? Ta-da! All right, I guess if you have this set, just be a little aware that if you cut off too much off the edge, you're going to be needing to cut off your little fella as well a little tiny bit, hey? So I'd like to pretend like with the prep, this shouldn't be quite as fresh and fun as it is. Okay, because this is going to hang on here, I did think that I would like to have, back in the day, we used to have to cut our rubber actually. Now we don't even have rubber. How sad. This I'm going to put on the back here just to give it a little bit of stability. And so that'll be kind of nice. So I will add that. put some glue. Ooh, I have a big chunk there. So all of the finicky gluing takes time, doesn't it? But, so I'm trying to answer your questions. You think this set's going to sell out? You think everybody's loving it? I thought it was actually not. I kind of thought I was getting a sleeper here. I have to say, when I first started to do these, there was not a lot of options out there to look at. I am a big Pinterest, let's look and see what everybody else is doing person. And I was having a little bit of trouble finding some ideas. So I just set out and I thought, okay, here we go. And so I made this little guy. This is why we're getting a little surprised, because there's only like 2 of those guys you can have on your, what do you call it? And then thought, I'm going to emboss this in the background. And you saw that one. And then I saw a tone on tone one. I thought, oh, that'd be kind of fun. And so I did tone on tone. One of the little dies in there is that. And so just a Versamark in the background there. And silhouettes is kind of fun. So you can either add these little guys or not, basically. And then I'm going to put this guy on there. And this will give a little stability. So this guy's going to be basically here. When you cut this guy the 4 1/4 width, do it a scant 4 1/4 as opposed to a really firm 4 1/4, if you know what I mean by that, on 2 sides of the line kind of thing. Because when he's in the fold, you want him to line up, and it's a little bit better if he's a little bit scant as opposed to not. So I'm going to put this guy in here, just so, and then I'll have this guy here. Perfect. And he's not getting glued there, obviously. He will get glued here. And this guy's going to get glued here. And then there's supposed to be stuff here. And that's why I can't glue them right now, right? So I am going to, and actually this is one thing I do sometimes, because I really do want to be, you guys will need to have a little bathroom break. So I'm going to just do this. Know that I'll show you the finished product, obviously, but this guy's going to just line up totally top and bottom, right? Side and bottom. And then this guy goes on the second level. Same dealio. And so do it with proper glue, but by doing that with this tape, of course, you can get to see what I'm doing. Okay, so right into the corner and right at the bottom. Then just fold it and make sure, while it's still movable, that you can still do it, right? And then I'm going to add a little tiny fun flare. Get ready for it. I think it's going to be kind of fun. Oh, I got a really good hint for you too. So the dies come and they kick out basically. So you can definitely do black silhouettes, lovely. But if you are like, and then what? I am pulling in some markers and I just literally scribbled. And it's probably a good idea if I was working on something. Ooh, not anything that has actual words on it. That'd be good. Okay. Have my credit card and all my banking information. Okay, so scribble a little tiny bit and use the lighter color. Color that in. Okay, you get that idea with a squeaky squeaky. I have 2 of those. Same with the trunk. Come along and just color it. I colored it first and then I just came back and I drew a few lines. And by the magic of television, I have those, so yay. And so then you can have some pretty things, and that's pretty easy to fix up. Now, I keep thinking that the bears should be at the fair. And so I did make this one on my Creativity for Everyone group that I have out of the Active Stamping page that I have. The colors of the month are Cajun and Espresso and crumb cake. And so I did make this little guy with the bear, and he's got all his little tickets, because the bear has like an arm that you can put a heart up there, but he also fits the tickets. So this little bear is ready for the roller coaster, or well, okay, the roller coaster or the Ferris wheel. Woohoo! So from that set, there's also, and I keep thinking I could not make a turban, but I do keep thinking I totally want this bear to be here. So I have not glued one of these together yet. I did double up on this guy. He's totally asymmetrical, or whatever you call it. Not asymmetrical, he's symmetrical. So I did cut 2 of them, and I cut both sides because he's going to be hanging off. That being said, so that's just for a little stability, because the bear, when he's colored, we are going to see him from the back a little tiny bit. That's okay. So I am assuming that I put the tiniest little dots on here. I'm sure it's time. So I will show you the finished thing one more time here. So I white embossed here. There's a clear embossed little emblem there. Look how cute this is. So I truly tried to have a little turban. Somewhere I should even have. I got a little crystal ball going for him. And I thought he could be the, what do you call it, for sure. Now I will suggest, and I did it incorrectly because, oh no, I die cutted him. Right. So in this case, when I have a little fellow like this that I am like, okay, he's great, I just bring in a little piece of scrap paper. Just a little hack for you too. And I will put a little bit of glue on him, on this. And then I put that on the back of the guy, so then I can glue him into here, right? Okay, and then by the magic of the tape again, you are not using tape. Putting glue on one part of it. Oh, okay, so I will definitely have to have paid attention to him a little tiny bit. The Hello Sunshine obviously needs to go over in the real world, but that's okay. Ah, how cute is that? I love it. Okay, and then I will have some palm trees. And I did put one back here as well. And I'll show you the finished card. But look how stinking cute that is. OMG. I love him. Okay, so that's why when you do things fresh, it's super fun. I never, after all these years, I never fail to love, it keeps it exciting when you do things on the go. Okay, so here is the true finished thing. Pretty close, but look how cute he is. So again, I haven't had the Hello Sunshine over, but I left lots of space. So clear embossing, you could put a couple of those, a little bit of those guys, and whatnot. So the measurements for these guys, you're just layering. And I did just a very tiny 1/8 inch. So I did the 1/4 inch of the black off, but then I did just a little tiny thin one just to keep the black just minimal. And then went with a big bunch of black otherwise. But that is my little card. And I will let you go and have a bathroom break. But thank you very much for hanging out with me. If you're wondering where some of the sets came from, Hello Sunshine. Exploring Nature. I think this is a dynamite set. I think you need to get it. What you see is what the size is. And the little You Make It Smile came from the Sweet Blooms. And there's my black piece of paper that I was needing. Thanks a lot, Lori. And, oh dear. I feel like I needed one more. Oh, that Weekend Adventures as well. And, yeah. So, I invite you to take a go with this. It's just paper, and you have more of it. So please give it a try, and just give it a go. You might think, oh my gosh, that seems crazy, but it's not. So I hope that you have fun. Thank you for spending the time with me, and I hope that it does inspire you to give a little try, pull out your stamps, old or new, and work with this, whether it's with the products you have on hand is what I guess I'm trying to say. All right, go. Take care, you guys. Thanks for hanging out today. Bye-bye.